We're going to turn all of this into this. Right after this. I'm Rick, and this shut the heck up, you stinking roosters. You're down for your sanity. This is the shack. Hello and welcome back to the shack. In this video, I'm going to take you step by step, and we're going to build a very heavy-duty, robust 4424 tree, a 4x4 base with 2x4 branches. Pocket hole joinery is a requisite for this build. You can do one tree or you can do two trees. One tree, you'll need one 4x4, two 2x4s, and one 1x2. If you want to make two trees, then the one 4x4 will give you enough material to make both bases and the top, and you'll need four 2x4s and two 1x2s. This is definitely one of the most costly builds out of the series of Christmas tree videos I'm putting out. I'm going to put out at least 4 videos, if not 5 if I have time. The rest of the builds are very simple. This one will definitely take one full day because of how much you have to cut, how many holes you have to drill, all the sanding you have to do, and then assembling and gluing and then painting. So the first thing I'm going to cut down, I'm going to cut down the 4x4. We're going to cut two 40-inch lengths, and I'm going to cut two 7-inch lengths, but I'm going to cut them at a 45 so I can get the tree top part done now. I always like a clean cut before I start, so I like to shave off just a little on the end. "40 inches. Guess that's going to be the bottom. Right there. All right. Just going to mark that. These don't have to be exact perfect. They're just bases. It's not a big deal. Okay, now I'm going to kick this to 45. I'm going to get this edge right where my 45 is. Hold it. So I actually want this just on the other side. See, I just want to go to the tip. Right there's good. That should be close to 7. There's one top. Cool. Flip it again. So again, I'm going to line this up on this side. There's our two tops and our two bases, and that's my leftover. With our 4x4s cut, now we can move on to the 2x4s. Cut all these to length. With all the pieces cut, Now we're going to cut the 45 on the end. In the original directions, it actually had you cut a 45 in the middle of that piece of wood. The smaller pieces, I just don't like getting that close to the blade, so I chose to make a jig. What I did was had a 2x4 laying flat, cut that at a 45, reset my saw at 90, and butt the piece that I just cut at 45, the tip of it, just barely touching the blade. Clamp it there. Now take your piece that you're going to cut the angle on, bring that in, slide your stock so it just hits the very tip. You bring another piece of wood over on the opposite side so it acts as a stop, so this piece of wood can't get pulled in or goes down any deeper. Clamp those two pieces down, dry check your fit, slide your piece in, make sure it's right to the edge, that way you get a very good 45. Now, slide your piece in, hold it, do your cut. Flip it end to end till it hits a stop block, cut that, there you have your jig. Cut all your pieces at 45 now. Our next step is to cut all of our pieces that we just cut with the 45 on the tip, cut them down the middle. So let's start cutting these up. Perfect. Never shut off the vac until the blade stops. That's how you can use your table saw versus using a miter saw. With all of our pieces cut, really taking shape, looking good, now we have to go through the tedious task of drilling all them pocket holes. Yes, a lot of them, 48 I think, something around there, 48 pocket holes. Drill them all out, make sure you have the point facing the pocket hole jig, because if you do it on this side, it's going to be wrong. You want these hidden underneath. This is the top, the tree branches go out this way. So you want to drill the bottom for those. Put 2 pocket holes in each branch. Now everything's set, almost. Got my stop collar on my drill bit set for 1.5 inches. That's the thickness of the material. Now we're going to set this at 1.5 inches. There we go. 1.5 inches height, 1.5 inches depth drill bit. Take the shortest ones. I'm going to center that here. Remember, this is the bottom, so have these face pointing you, I guess. So let's drill the first one out. Ooh, thought I hit a knot. Yeah, Always hard when you hit a knot, man. Okay, time lapse time. I want to take a quick moment to explain the cost of this joinery. It's not my first choice by far because of the cost. Screws are not cheap. I have not used a traditional pocket hole screw for the last 5-6 years. I do have some depending on the project, especially if I'm doing maybe like a picture frame or something, I may use those. But for the most part, I do not use a pocket hole screw. What I'm going to use on this particular project is just a basic construction screw, a number 9 by 2.5. The one I actually bought is Grip Right. I purchased this because they had a sale going on 10-pound buckets, so I bought 3. But I bought 2.5, 2-inch, 1.5 inch. Those are my 3 top lengths of screws that I use in the shop in various projects. So at my cost, I believe the number 9 by 2.5 is 848 count in the 10-pound bucket, and that averages out to about 5 cents a screw versus the pocket hole screw. It doesn't matter if it's a 50 count or a 25 count. Those were the only 2 options when I was looking for them to get a price comparison. You're averaging 21 cents a screw, and that is the blue anodized screw, basically an exterior use screw because it's treated, versus my construction screws are already treated for exterior or interior use. So that's a big difference in cost. 21 cents versus a nickel a screw. But I will explain how I use the construction screw versus a traditional pocket hole screw, because the pocket hole screw is basically what they call washer head screw. It's a screw with a rounded edge on it. It looks like a washer on it. That's because on your pocket hole drill, you have the drill part, and then the end you have a little, maybe a 1/2 inch, I've never even checked, probably about a 1/2 inch smaller tip of the drill. That is basically the pilot hole for the screw to go in, and that the rest of the drill is wider. It's a little hole for the pilot hole to go in, and you have this ledge for the washer to sit on. That helps bring the strength, pull that tight against whatever you're screwing this to, and that makes for a little bit tighter joint. I have never had an issue using what I use, but I pay attention because you can sink these in deep, especially on soft woods. You can screw this all the way through, right out the other end, and not even realize it. I actually did that once, so I'm talking from experience. So I'll explain to you how I do this with great results without over torquing or seating in too deep. I'll explain that. You can use these, buy you a box of 50 because this is going to take 48 screws. A box of 50 will do you, and even box of 50, maybe a couple of cents more per screw, but it's still going to save you versus paying for a pocket hole screw at 21 cents a screw. Little side note, let's get back to the video and explain how I'm going to use this construction screw in this application. Now that is a type of screw I'm going to be using. It's just a Grip Right construction screw. It's a number 9 by 2.5 inches. And something like this, you want coarse thread like this, so it'll bite into this. It's a softer wood. Hardwoods, you want to use a fine thread. So this is how I'm going to do this. Being this is tapered, you can actually drive that in too deep. So to prevent that, I'm going to take my bit, I'm going to insert it, and you see right there, it hits the bottom of the hole. Now if I go to where the center hole that the screw sets in when you put in here, see, it goes down even deeper. But I want this to go right to the edge. So I'm pushing it to the side until it hits the first ledge. And as you see, it's about maybe right there on this. So as long as I get this about right there, I'll stop, because I don't want to go any further than past the yellow part. Now this was a solid, I would just put a piece of tape there so I know not to go past that. For the first one, I'm just going to get a piece of wood. First mark is 1 inch down. I can set this on the mark. I'm going to clamp it. Make sure it's nice and square. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on this. Oh, wrong way. Glad I caught that first. Here we go. Put this in between. Set this one here. Now you get a little better view of what I'm doing so you can see. Get a little bit of glue on there. Setting that in there. Keeping this where it's pretty well straight. This is basically just to keep it from moving off side to side. Okay, as far as I go. When this, see, right, that's the bottom of it right there. That's it. So I don't want to go any further than that. I'm bottomed out where I need to go, and that's it. It's nice and snug in there. There we go. Move on to the next one. These two sides are done, so now we're going to start the other two sides, and we want to measure 3.5 inches down from here for our first branch on this side. 3.5 right there. That thick. There we go. That's where it needs to be. Always make sure that the pocket holes are on the bottom, facing down. Just a little bit of glue squeeze out here and there. There's the first one. So now we're good to go. Do the same the rest of the way down. And that is it. There you have it. Put the top on, which will go that way. But I have something I want to do to make that look nice so it transitions nicely. That ain't too bad. That's one big, heavy-duty Christmas tree. So the next step, we're going to take the 1x2s that we cut earlier, 14-inch lengths, and we're going to attach them to the bottom for our base. This isn't necessary. This is something I chose to do. I took my router and put a roundover bit. I actually thought I had a chamfering bit, but I have it in 1/2 inch, not in 1/4 inch. So I have to get me one in 1/4 inch so I can use my little trim router for certain projects. So because I didn't want to bring out the big guns to do just this quick little chamfering on the edge, I chose to use a roundover bit, and I simply rounded over the edges on the top of the tree so it's not so square top, so it kind of curves in, so it helps blend in and soften the edge to the top of the tree. Again, you don't have to do this. This is something that I chose to do. To finalize this tree, we need to attach the Christmas tree top. Find your center in your 4x4 and find the center on the bottom of the Christmas tree top. I use my little center punch, put a little bit of a dimple, pilot hole if you will, and you can either drill it by hand, make a little jig to keep the blade plumb and true. In my case, I will use my drill guide from Woodpecker. You will need 3/8 of an inch drill bit. If you don't have any dowels, use a dowel rod. Mine are 1.5 inch, so I set the drill depth at 7/8 of an inch. Put a little glue in both holes, a little glue around the surface. Our tree is complete. However you want to finish it now is completely up to you. And that's it. That is complete. Very big, sturdy, robust Christmas tree. Perfect to sit on your porch, your patio. Unfortunately, it's one of those that you cannot fold up and put away. It's going to take up a little room for storage till next year. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you are notified when the next 3 to 4 videos, at least 3 videos, of more Christmas trees. This is just an example of one. Got a stack of them over there. The rest of the videos are perfect for scrap wood projects. I'll also put a link to a video up here I did. Made some really nice little storage box for magazines and papers. And actually my wife took a couple, put on her desk to put papers in for filing. Works out perfect. Perfect little gift for someone who maybe has the home office. We are done. Got to get busy on this. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Take back your shack. Build it for your sanity. It's very busy this time of year. But don't lose sight for the reason for this season. Be blessed. We will see you next video.